What's that? 2 gym videos in one day? Whoa, maybe depends on where you live. So here I am making my 11th build, right? And there's this jewel that I need. Well, I don't really need it. It's very min-maxy. It's like corrosive something and widespread. And I'm like, I could buy it for 8 divs, but really the corrosive is the only thing that I really care about because the widespread. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna buy 8 divs for something that's costs 7 div in fossils to make. I mean, I'll do it later on when I'm min-maxing. But then the next one along, towering threat, assertive something. I mean, this isn't what this is, but like towering threat and assertive something is what I need in area gems. So I'm gonna try and make them because they're like 4 divine if I buy them, and I need 2 of them. So why do that when I could just spend 1 divine to buy 26 jewels and buy 1 divine worth of regals and buy 1 divine worth. Okay, I didn't need to buy a divine. No, I bought 20 C worth of transmutes for 1,000. Nearly said a divine. And then I was gonna pay someone 2 divine to buy some stuff for me, but I ended up paying them 1 divine to buy 10 things, and they paid 40 C. So they took home 160, 170 C profit. Anyway, thing, towering, and assertive, towering, and assertive. That's how you spell assertive. ASSER, tiv. Assert dominance. Assert dominance, not assertive. Okay, so we'll just hit everything with. Actually, I need to do squiggly. Nope, one of those and one of those, and then what are these? Medium. Okay, so how many orgs have I got? Plenty. Sweet. We're gonna hit them with alts until they're all glowy. I mean, we've done this already. Except, you missed me rolling the 50 things which I vowed that didn't do anything with. Turns out, I mean, I knew that. I knew that the ones that didn't brick into a rare or a unique and stayed magic are still worth something. You can still sell them, but the one I didn't hit the implicit. And it turns out that's just a shit way to get ailment immunity because it's not technically ailment immunity, because if something gets increased ailment, effect, or chance in a map, then your 100% reduced can get like back up to 10% increased if a monster, just it's a cheap way to get ailment immunity, but it's not really ailment immunity because a monster can still have more ailment and then fuck you. So I don't know. Apparently there's like even better ways. Like the Storm Shroud. There's an Essence Craft on a boot or something, and that's way better. I'm sure if I actually gave a shit about helping new people, I would show you how that one works. But I've given you the seed, and now you can go look up essence mods and try and get shock avoidance and do it with Storm Shroud, because Storm Shroud's only 45C. Anyway, we got our first batch of augments here. And what I'm looking for is to all of them to be glowy like this. And I'll put them over to the side. Probably shouldn't have bought a div worth of regals if I completely forgot that I probably don't have enough augs. No, I'll have plenty of augs. And then we hit all these, but I'll save that for after we do another one of these. Get some glowy boys. These should all be the right eye level of what I'm going for. I didn't really check, but I think they're all 5 or 4 mods, because that doesn't really matter if it's 5 or 4. You can still path to the dual socket and get both things in one skill point. 5 and 4 has no difference, really. But my room is full of moths and mosquitoes because Netflix man got locked out of his bank account again. And, you know, instead of just saying, hey, I got locked out of my bank account again, can you help me? He held the door open for 3 minutes and engaged in conversation in the middle of the night, and I live in a shed and my door is glass, so all the bugs are trying to get into because they see the light. Maybe I should just get a bug zapper outside my door. But then that's like inhumane. I'd much rather let them into my room to be eaten by my room's spider and geckos. Fuck off. Sorry, there's a moth. Okay. Augments. Hell yeah, I got some regal bait. Man, Jim's hopping from one meta build to another, huh? Well, I did play Chieftain RF and it was shit. So technically I didn't level up another character. So does re-rolling from RF Chieftain into Detonate Dead Chieftain. Does that count as making a new build? Because this is my 11th build, but I've only leveled 9 characters this league. So, like, maybe I've only played 9 builds, you know? Moving on. You know, I was gonna do this, like, I don't know, depends how long this goes for. I was gonna just get like 25 of them ready to be regaled and then hit them, and then the ones that are shit I was gonna scour them and go again until I run out of scours. Probably is gonna be my limit. But I completely forgot about the alt and org spamming part of it. But man, people like long gym rant people like long gym rant videos. So we'll just do the whole thing. Nice long crafting session. And I get to do a whole other timestampy with cut-ups, but it's going to be difficult unless I change topics of conversation to talk about. So yeah, I'm on this list, right? I'm on this list to go to the hospital, and they're gonna give me like an allergy, like one of those scratch allergy tests, because I mean, I didn't really care that I was allergic to, like, well, I'm basically allergic to breakfast. I just assumed all bananas were spicy. Turns out that's not a thing, and it's an allergy, and I've had that my whole life. But I was eating egg, right? And then, like, I was eating it every day, a dippy egg, like a googie egg, so, like, which is like a half-cooked egg, so the outs, like, the white bit's cooked, but the inside's all mushy, and then you crack the top off, and you cut toast into strips, and then you dip the toast. Just bliss. Anyway, I was having the best time of my life by having egg like that for breakfast every day for like 4 months straight. Turns out if you eat the same thing a lot, your body's like, at some point will just go, if you do this again, I'm gonna kill us. And then, you know, have a really bad time. So that happened, and turns out well, that's a different type of allergy, I guess. Like, that one will just kill me, whereas bananas being spicy, I just assumed bananas were spicy. But so then I've suddenly, you know, I went to the allergy place and I'm like, yo, what type of allergy test we got here? And they're like, well, in Australian government, you can get a free allergy test right now with a blood test and not a scratch test. And if you can go to the like private places and get a scratch test if you want, it costs money. But the free ones are like that you can get like right now. You gotta eat the thing you think you're allergic to, and then we'll take your blood. I'm like, okay. And they're like, you can do 4 right now if you want. I'm like, but that means I have to eat 4 things I think I'm allergic to, and then you're going to take my blood. Does that seem safe? They're like, no, just do it. So then I ate some egg, and then I ate some banana, because I'm like, bananas, like, makes my mouth a little bit itchy. And then I had some, like, avocado, because it makes my mouth a little bit itchy. And I had some, like, a fruit salad thing, because there was types of fruit that made my mouth itchy. Turns out all those things I'm allergic to. But, like, it's just breakfast, right? Because I would have, like, egg to the point where it made my mouth itchy, and then I'd have like avocado on toast because it's premium, and it made my mouth itchy, and then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just have like fruit for breakfast, and then my body's like, can you fucking stop having breakfast? Here's the thing, for the longest time I never ate breakfast because I was always like a wake up at 6 a.m, get dressed in 5 minutes, go to school, hang around until it hit 9 o'clock, so the school started, come home, eat dinner, go to bed. So I'd only ever have 1 meal a day. And I kept doing that into like college because it was just affordable, you know? And so suddenly, now that I'm like quote unquote work from home, Nana's popping around all the time going, let's have food and get you nice and fat. And I just keep becoming allergic to breakfast. Because I guess I never had the chance to have breakfast previously. Actually, I used to eat a shit ton of Weet-Bix, which is like Weetabix in England, but they're the wrong one because I prefer like really shit home brand ones, which are just like pounded wheat forced into a cube. And I used to just eat that. It was just a wheat cube, and I put milk in it, and that was it. No sugar or anything. And I ate a shit ton of that growing up. Like I'd slam 10 of those things or something in some mornings. And now I'm allergic to milk. It wasn't the Weetabix, it was the milk. Though I'm very glad it wasn't the Weetabix, because then I'd be like milk, egg, wheat. That's like everything in Western society. I don't think I'm allergic to corn, but I just don't like corn. Okay, let's slam these, and then we'll scour any bad ones. So they're all towering or assert, and I want both on it, so let's just hit them all. They'll all stay the same thing because they'll all have at least one of the mods on it that I want. But now we can check them. Let's just take this, cut this. Towering and nothing, assert and nothing, nothing. Looking for anything that hit a 2 mod. 2 mod. There's one. Magnifier, assert dominance. Towering, assert powerful. Towering, assert magnifier. Assert dominance magnifier. Towering, titanic. Expansive towering, assert dominance. Okay. So put these down here. I didn't hit any of the ones I want. Like, I didn't get a duo mod of anything that I want. These are all 1 mods. So I'm going to scour these and go again, and we'll price check these at the end. So you can skip to the very end if you want. Scour. But then you'll miss all the stories about Jim being allergic to breakfast and manual labor. But the manual labor one, I don't know. It's like I'm allergic to my own sweat or something, maybe. Not so much as, like, I've met someone who was allergic to their own sweat, and I don't get it as bad as they do. But I do get this thing where, like, if I exert myself too much, the blood pressure in my ears build up, and I get, like, a pounding headache. Let's just talk about medical things, right? Like, sometimes when I eat too much, it makes my stomach hurt, and then my stomach is like, it's like gassy, and then the buildup of the gassy gives me a toothache, and then the toothache gives me a headache, and then I just want to die. And this one time I went to the dentist, and they were like, yo, we gotta take your tooth out. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're like, yo, we can't get this fucking tooth out. And I'm like, what now then? And they're like, we're gonna cut it up into little bits and take it out bit by bit. I'm like, yeah, okay. And I don't have any money. Like, I would have got a root canal if I could afford it. So I'm like paying bare minimum to get my tooth extracted, and they're like smashing it to bits with a hammer and fucking pull. Okay, this is gonna get a little bit graphic. And they're pulling out little bits, and there's one like quarter of it, it's just not coming out. And they're like, okay, we're gonna give you some more painkillers, and then we're gonna drill into your jaw bone. I'm gonna take out a bit of your jawbone, but you'll be fine without your jawbone. It's okay. It's just a little bit to get this tooth out. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. And then they're like, previously I've never had to have painkillers. Like, I don't like, no human likes pain, right? Okay, some people like pain. Okay, I don't usually take painkillers for headaches or anything like that, so I'm fine. And anyway, they like, I went to the hospital once to get like a bit of my bone, like a bit of bone this, like a chunk of bone this big cut out of my leg, because I had like a bone tumor, which is like a bit of my cartilage from my knee got separated, and my body went, let's grow a bone to that. So I had like a hook coming out of my knee. So I had a baseball-sized tumor in my leg that got cut out. Anyway, after like the surgery of that wound down, and I was like coming off the painkillers, they're like, do you feel any pain yet? And I'm like, no. They're like, you're gonna start feeling pain, and when you do, you have to tell us, because then we'll give you the new painkillers that'll help with that. And it, like, 3 days later, I still hadn't felt any pain, and they're like, are you sure you're, like, and they poke at my leg, like, can you feel this? I'm like, yeah, I can feel you poking me. They're like, can you feel any pain? I'm like, no, nothing. So based on that, after this dentist thing, I'm like, they gave me a prescription. They're like, this is really gonna fucking hurt. You should go to the chemist to get these painkillers. I'm like, okay, I will. Then I went home and completely forgot. And then when the when the dental like pain meds ran out, holy shit, I couldn't even move. I was like on the floor, fetal position, just like trying not to move. Like, breathing was painful, moving was painful, talking was painful. I wanted to die. So I crawled into my like sibling's room, and I'm like, hey, can you do me a solid and take this prescription and save my, could you go to the, I'm gonna die, can you get me my meds? So I went and got my meds, and oof, man, shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have not done that is what I should say. Anyway, those meds made me fucking high as fuck, man. I only had to like have half of one, and I was like just completely out of it. But I'm so grateful, because holy shit, son, that was top 10 most painful things. And I've been through some painful shit, which is why I feel like I can handle painful things all of a sudden. Like this one time, you've told my painful stories before. we can skip all this. Just skip to the end. Skip to the end and look at the loot if you don't want to hear this. But one time I thought I had something stuck in my tooth, so I was trying to get it out with a toothpick. But it turns out it was just my tooth that I was trying to get out, and then I accidentally like stabbed a toothpick through my tooth and directly into a nerve ending. And holy shit, those things work quick when there's a toothpick lodged in them. That was terrible. And this one time I fell through a jetty. Okay, a jetty's like a half a bridge, right? It's like a pier, basically, but made out of wood slats. And the wood slats gave way on either side of my foot, and I fell through, but only halfway through. Like, I didn't fall all the way through, so I felt like it only moved just enough to allow my leg through, so the really old wood scraped off the skin on both sides of my leg. But, that wasn't the part that hurt. I was mostly just shocked that happened, and I wasn't in any pain from that, because, you know, adrenaline was like, nah, mate, you're right, I got this. But, like, my leg was all limp and shit, like I couldn't move my muscles. I don't know why. Like, it wasn't that it was seizing up, it was just unable to, like, balance or anything like that. Yet again, my sibling was there, and they're like, okay, let's get you back to the house, because the jetty's on the property, it's up there. It's since caved in, and, like, you know, decayed, and was a health hazard to begin with. But, they dragged me back home, and on the way back, they dragged me through a bindi patch, and a bindi patch is like, I don't know, talk to any Australian you know, there's just this type of grass that wants to kill you here, and if you step on it, it's like stepping on razor blades. So they dragged me, I wasn't wearing shoes, sure, it's my own fault for not falling through the jetty with shoes on, or something, but they dragged me through, like, thorns, basically. They're like, hey, we could take you straight home, or we could drag you through the rose bushes. So they dragged me through the rose bushes, and that was the part that hurt, not so much the falling through the jetty part, but that was just setting the scene for you. Let's just no, keep going. Man, I hope I hit record and not stream. Okay, yep, just making sure. Keep going. What else was painful? Oh yeah, this one time, well, this wasn't painful, but I probably should have gone to the doctors. Oh man. Now that I say that, there's like 3 times I probably should have gone to the doctors, because I've nearly killed myself on so many different occasions. Like, accidentally, like, not on... Don't stop bringing that up like that, but, like, there's one time I was opening the can of beans, right? And they're the ones where you put put the thing through the ring bit, and you leverage it with your thumb. And I slipped, right? But I got the beans open, but it was all such a... like a motion of slipping and getting the beans open that I just fucking yeeted beans all over myself, like baked beans in soup, or however those baked beans come. So I'm covered in beans, right? And I'm crying because I'm covered in beans, and my mum comes over, she's like, what have you done? I'm like, beans everywhere. She's upset. She's like, no, seriously, what have you done? I'm like, it's a can of beans. Like, I'm already crying, I'm in an emotional state, calm down. And I look at my hand, and I'm just, my entire hand, like, I'm covered in beans, but my entire hand is red, like I've dipped it in a paint bucket, because I split half of my thumbnail off, like I cut half of my thumbnail off with the sharp bit of the lid when I chucked the beans everywhere. But we didn't even go to the hospital, man. We just, like, wrapped it in bandages, and it grew back. Probably should have gone to the hospital for that one. Yep. How far into the video are we? Am I allowed? I say cunt, so I'm going to say cunt again and say cunt one more time, so I can say this one time I got an erection for 18 hours. It doesn't matter if I get demonetized at this point, but when they say go to the doctors if you've had an erection for longer than 4 hours, fucking do it, because once you get to the 10-hour part, it starts getting really painful. Probably should have gone to the hospital for that one, but I was on a plane. Well, it was an 11-hour flight. I should have gotten off. I should have gotten off. I should have gone to the doctors after the flight, but I didn't, because it was like a late flight, and then we went to bed after. Well, I didn't go to bed, but everyone else went to bed, and I didn't exactly, like, I was on a plane with like 28 of my family members with me, and so first of all, I'd have to go to the flight attendant. Can you get a doctor for me? I'm having a medical emergency. And then they would do the thing where they go, are there any doctors on the plane? Someone's had a medical emergency. And they would do this after I would talk to a flight attendant. So all my family knew it was me. And I'd look completely normal to them. And I'd have to explain to them that I've had an erection for longer than 4 hours. So I just didn't tell anyone. Turns out, yeah, it both hurts. And also you could just lose your dick. I never went to the doctor for it. I just randomly told my family that this happened like a couple years later when, you know, statute of limitations, they can't bully me for it anymore. I tried to bring it up once to them, and they told me to stop talking because I was being gross, because I was trying to talk about my dick at the dinner table. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, maybe statute of limitations isn't up yet, I'll try again in a couple years. And I tried again in a couple years, and my family were like, oh my god, why didn't you tell us? I tried. Well, I didn't try during when it was happening, but I tried later on. They're like, "Oh my god, you could have lost your dick." I'm like, "Well, I know that now." So just fair warning, you know, to the 98.99% of you who are men that are watching this, and to the 80% of you that are German. What's up? I was gonna say some shit. I was gonna say some shit. I don't know how to say hello in German. Is it hello? It's hello, but it's just with a different vowel. Ah, okay. I'm nearly done. I'm nearly done. I say that because I'm nearly out of Augs. When I'm out of Augs, that's when we're done. That's what happened last time. Because I bought 10C worth of Augs off someone, and I'm like, they're like, how many are you going to need? And I'm like, I don't know, 250. I only needed 2 at the time, but then I'm like, oh, I've got 250 Augs. I can make a video. And here we are. Yep. What's the other time I nearly died? Oh yeah, I ate something I'm allergic to, and my throat swelled up, and I had trouble breathing. And it wasn't like... This is like, because the whole reason I'm going... Okay. Moral of the story at the very beginning that I didn't get back to. Now I'm on a list to go to the hospital to get a scratch test. Turns out, like, it should be free. And that's why I'm on a list, because it's like a 3-month-long thing. And I got on that because I went to the doctors, because I'm like, hey, I need an EpiPen. And they're like, we can't give you an EpiPen unless you have a severe reaction. I'm like, I've had a severe reaction. And they're like, it's not on your medical file. And I'm like, oh yeah, because I ate a cookie, and within 10 seconds of it entering my mouth, my entire throat swelled up, and I just sat here. And I was streaming at the time. I just sat here in a position that I could actually breathe in for 4 hours until it went away. So if that happens, you got to call an ambulance, is what I know now. There's a lot of situations in hindsight where I could have just died. Like the time that I passed out there, because I was lying down. I felt I overate, right? Because Nana made this thing I really like. And so I ate a bunch of it, and she's like, you shouldn't eat a bunch of it, you'll feel sick. I'm like, no, I won't. And then, like, cut to 20 minutes later when I'm lying in bed about to throw up because I ate too much. She's like, and I'm like, I'm lying down in my bed, and everything's getting woozy, and I feel like I'm going to throw up. And I go from a lying down position to a standing up position to going outside to bending over in case I throw up. And it turns out when you go from a lying down position to a standing up position to a bending over position, your brain goes shut down. And so I passed out. And honestly, while I was falling, I'm like, oh, thank fuck, it's only me fainting, because, like, I'd much rather, like, faint than vomit. And I didn't think of, like, you know, vomiting while I was passed out and then choking on my vomit. I just woke up, and my head was in a plant pot, so I landed semi-softly in a plant pot about, well, I don't know. I don't know when I woke up, but I came to, like, I was awake and just lying there for longer than I was, like, mentally capable of moving. I guess. No, like willing to move, like I'm like, now I want to get up, you know? But it was like 4 a.m. or something, and I was just looking at the clouds, and I'm like, I feel good now, you know? And then anyway, I went back to bed immediately. I texted my mum. I'm like, hey, I just fainted and passed out and fell over. Don't know long how for. Don't know long how for. Me sleep now, bye. And she woke me up like 4 hours later, all fucking terrified, and I'm like, I don't know if I should have slept or if I should have called an ambulance. And then I talked to my doctor, and my doctor's like, you should have called an ambulance. And then at this same, like, because my family's like, you have to go see the doctor, and I went to see the doctor, and they're like, why the fuck are you here? You should call an ambulance. And I'm like, can I get an EpiPen, by the way? And they're like, why? And I explained it to them, and like, you should have called an ambulance. And I'm like, okay, hindsight. And then she's like, I'll put you on a list, and then you go to the hospital and we'll get a scratch test. So I'm looking forward to getting this scratch test done. Let me just double check these. We're gonna keep talking. Give it to your story time with Jim. I've divulged so much of my medical history. No, this is next to nothing. All you gotta know is tumor, teeth, and a lot of times where I should have called an ambulance. Any other times when I should have called an ambulance? Whoops. How about the fire brigade? We used to have this shed. Well, I'm in it now, but this used to be a shed more than a room, and the TV was out in the shed for some reason, and a couch. And my dad was out watching something on the TV, and we're all inside. And I don't know, someone let a candle get out of control, and it's like, you know, the house caught fire. And so we like, my mum's like taking bucket loads of water from the bath to the fire to try and put it out, and she's like, "Get your father." And so we all came busting into the shed. We're like, "Fire! There's a fire!" And he's like, "Ugh." And he got up real slow, like, and slowly walked inside, took off his shoe. He's like, "Where is it?" And we pointed, and my mum's sprinting with a bucket, and he's like, "Oh shit, fire! Not spider!" Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What? Yeah, anyway, he's like, "Oh fuck, I thought you guys meant there's a spider," because there's a lot of occasions in Australia where there's, you know, a lot of children screaming because a large spider, maybe not everywhere in Australia, but especially here in the farmyard, especially after it rains, all the spiders and snakes, they just like, "That house, that's my house now," and then they're all up in your ceiling and shit. Anyway, so we should have called we did call the fire brigade. They came and fixed it. It was all good. Like one of the 3 times we've had to call the fire brigade. The other one was when a John Deere lawnmower exploded and caught fire and like set my grandfather's hat on fire and everything else around the lawnmower on fire. And when the fire brigade got here, they're like, "Oh, was it a John Deere?" And then we were like, "Yes." And they're like, "8th John Deere this month we've had to come and like put out." And then my grandfather was like, "Damn, well, it was in warranty, so let's go get another one." And we got another one, and then like 3 years later it exploded again and everything set fire. Anyway, I don't think I am allowed. I don't think I'm not allowed to tell you because they haven't paid us any hush money. But holy shit, John Deere lawnmowers just fucking catch fire all the time, you know. Anyway, they're the green ones. Now we bought it in like an American brand or something. It's red. We were gonna buy the yellow American brand, but we bought the red American brand because the review said it's loud as fuck, and we just hate our neighbors. I'm just kidding. It was mucho horsepower was the reason. Many go fast and cut grass at the same time. Okay, I got 5 more Augs left, so let's get these to the point where we can Aug them and hopefully get something good. I got 1 more Aug left to get to the point where I can Aug 1, get to the point where I can Aug 1, and then I will Aug it, Aug it. Okay, so I read these. I spent about, let's just say 2 div on the materials because I didn't eat through all of my regrets. And, I mean, 2 div on like the bases as well. So all the costs was 2 div. And I'm looking for Towering Threat, Assert Dominance. And I'm pretty sure I saw one earlier, so I know I at least got 1. There we go. Nope. Okay. Maybe Increased Effect has something, but I didn't stop to not roll over them. So we'll go display capture, and then let's have a look-see at, let me do Assert and Towering. Oh, maybe I didn't get any. Assert magnifier is 20C, so it's worthless. Assert magnifier. So dominance magnifier. These are all bases that I can roll over again. I mean, sure, 20C isn't worthless when the bases are 1C, but whatever. That's 200C, that's a divine right there. So I need another something that's a divine in this batch. Magnifier towering. Towering vast, magnifier towering, towering vast, expansive towering, and titanic towering. Okay, so these are, get rid of that. 10C, wow, they're worth less than these ones. And these are 1 divine, so that's 3 divine total, and these are 20C. Yep, so they go in this pile, and this is 70C, so that's half a divine, 3.5 divine, 3.7377737, 3.5, maybe like, what was it, 210, 220 plus 50 divided by 215 plus 2, 3.2 divine cost me 2 divine to make. I made 1 divine profit. If I sell everything, which I won't because I'm just going to scour it all and keep crafting. But hey, that's when I get some more Augs. Thanks for watching the video. If you get the one that I didn't get, it's profit. But, I mean, it's like 4 divine. But it's only... The market is 80% one guy. And he's got them listed at 4 divine. And then the market is also a couple of people who get the same one, and they listed at 4 divine. And then the remainder of the market is people listing them for 15C, and then the guy that's got 80% of them buying the ones that are 15C and relisting them at 4 divine. So the guy is just a... I've already said cunt 3 times, so let's add a 5th one to it. He's a cunt. Thanks for watching my life story. See you in the next one.